titled Finding Meaning During a Pandemic, the impact of COVID on our university's mental health. We're going pretty good for time. I'm going to ask Kimberly to jump straight into things, so homai te paki for Kimberly.
Thanks, Michael. Thanks, everyone. Please excuse my voice, it's a bit scratchy. Tēnā koutou katoa, my name is Kim Spain. I'm the Senior Mental Health Advisor for Student Disability Services. And yeah, as Michael said, I want to talk to you today about the impacts of COVID on universities' mental health. So let's get my clicker going. There we go. But before we start, I want to get you to write down some things. So get your phone out, open your notes app, or get a pen and a paper. I want to get you to write down these three things. Number one, someone that means something to you, something you want to see accomplished or finished, and something you get excited about. And I'll just give you 20 seconds now to have a think about that and write something down. All right, and we'll come back to that later. So, in 2018, a study was done on university student mental health. And what they discovered was that university students are a higher risk group for mental health conditions compared to their non-university peers. This may be because of moving away from home, financial stresses, or navigating new processes. What we also know is that the average age that a student starts at university also overlaps with the average age of onset of some mental health conditions, such as anxiety, depression, and psychotic episode. And within the university, these student groups, we have higher risk groups again. Students who are in gender or sexual minority groups, students who are 16 to 20-year-olds, students who have other disabilities, students who are taking a certificate or undergraduate degree, studying creative arts or IT studies, and also students who are using cannabis. And the study also found out that there were protective factors, and it's really important to consider protective factors because no matter how much risk there is, protective factors can buffer that risk. So what they found was that students who felt good about their studies, no matter what their grades were, that was a protective factor. Those who had supportive living conditions, that was a protective factor. And those who had, felt good about their financial situation as well. Then COVID has happened. And some studies were done in 2020 and 2021 looking at the impact of COVID on university mental health. And the impacts were that 32% of students reported a deterioration in their mental health. Students who already had a mental health condition were 3 to 4 times more likely to experience suicidality. And students who found some sort of meaning in their life had more resilience than those who didn't. So speaking of meaning, I want to introduce you to Viktor Franco. I'm sure you've heard of him. He's an Austrian psychiatrist and neurologist, and he is the author of Logotherapy. And Viktor was also a prisoner in the concentration camps in World War II. And during his time in the concentration camps, Viktor discovered there was 2 groups of people. The first group were those who gave up, were more prone to illness and death. And the second group were those who didn't give up, were more likely to survive. And the difference he discovered was that the group who was more likely to survive had found a meaning and a purpose for their life. So, the pandemic has happened to all of us. We've all experienced loss, we've all experienced financial stress of some sort. And what Viktor Franco has discovered is that actually, if we can find a meaning or something to live for, a purpose, something to help us not to give up, that can actually overcome the body, that can overcome the physical ailments. So, whatever the horrendous, unlivable situation that we are in, or, I don't want to compare the Holocaust to a pandemic, of course, but it has brought its own struggles. And to be able to find some meaning can really become a protective factor for that issue. So if we go back to your 3 things, maybe just read over them again. These are your meaning. And I encourage you, if you couldn't find something, please keep working on that, because this is what's going to keep you going when things are tough. This is what is going to help you to not give up. And the outcome will be better in mental and physical health, and better academic performance as well. So I guess I want to finish there by just asking you this question. What is your meaning? What is it that you want to see finished in your life? Thank you.
Tēnā koe Kim, nā mihi ki tēnā, kōrero pāna ki the last couple of years and the impact that it's had on us, and I still harken back to the other sessions too with the young people in particular. Logotherapy, hea tērā, what's logotherapy?
Well, it's a therapy that has been used in therapy, in counselling, where the therapist facilitates, helps the client to find meaning in their life. So it's basically focused on finding meaning, basically, yeah.
Have you got any examples of what that might look like as I look at my 3 things?
I guess it's what I've said, think about what excites you. What is it that would get you up at 3 a.m. because it's important to you? What is it that, if you face a near-death experience, what comes to your mind? I'm a surfer, and sometimes I feel like I'm actually going to drown, and my son is what comes to mind for me. So everyone has their own, purpose or what's important to them, I guess. And so helping people to find that, I think, is really helpful. And a lot of the student population, they've sort of lost, they lost meaning or purpose, and so helping them to find that again is important, yeah.
Because I'll disclose my 3rd one, which was...
Something you're excited about.
Well, that was home. And I just recalling one of our students mentioning the university and trying to feel that way about this place too. So being able to go on that sort of journey, I think, is quite exciting. So... Kana whetena, thank you so much for that, Kim. Ho mai te paki kia, Kim.